Morning. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Good,
Yourself?
good. Yeah, all right, thanks.
Good.
Morning, James. Morning, guys. Just on our way down the steps through Blundells Wood. I've seen a new track, well, not a new track, a track that I've not seen before to take us through Blundells, so gonna see how that pans out. Morning, Brian. So we should be seeing the Smithy Brook a little bit later on as well, further downstream. So just after the bridge there's a right turn, so I might have been down here when I was a kid, but I can't remember. But we're going to work our way down to a little monument. Morning.
Yeah.
We're going to work our way down to a monument or a memorial, which essentially is named after Colonel Blundell, whose family name is what this wood is named after. This is a completely different perspective of Smithy Brook now. This is a nice little spot. And I think James will let us know. I think this is roughly where the house that used to be in the woods, where the remains of the old house are around about there, I think. And there used to be what do you call it? Come on, James, help me out here. What was there? There was a white structure with a load of glass in it, but I can't remember for the life of me. A greenhouse. It was called a greenhouse. Couldn't think. Oh, this is beautiful. Nice little waterfall. Yeah, so James is telling us that the house was at the top of the hill and the greenhouse was lower down. Thanks, James. And I don't know if you've noticed, but last night I changed a few things on the group. When I started this around about 2.5 weeks ago, I did not anticipate so many people joining, which is amazing, like 650 members now I think, which is crazy. But at the same time, I didn't anticipate the variety of content that the page was going to amassed to, which is thanks to you guys posting all your bits and pieces. So last night I went through all previous posts and I've categorised the posts into different topics. So those who are coming here just to look for the walks or for a bit of inspiration from the walks, instead of having to search for them, you can just click on the topic walks, and all the walks that I'm doing on a daily basis are posted there exclusively. The next one is member photos. So if you do send in your photographs from your walks, people will be able to see them via that. We've also got community posts, so anything that's not necessarily to do with walking but just posts are about the community. They're all under that button, and there's several others as well which I'll be putting on. So handy, I suppose, to be able to navigate through the group the way you might want. And it stops things getting kind of lost in the feed, because as soon as you make a comment on any of the posts, it shifts it to the very top of the list. And again, some of the content that the page is actually about, such as the walks, can be demoted to 10 or 15 posts behind the others. So I think that's a worthy reason to make those changes. So now I'm just going to take a very short detour up this hill, because I believe you can get to this via just this section via the end of Foundry Lane. And I've always wanted to see what's up here now, so oh, there you go, there's some houses. So you can get to it, there's a little path that takes you down. So if you're coming from the other end, you can definitely get down here quite easily. Janet Tilsley says, "Hiya, the water looks clear. It used to be bright orange." And so does Lisa. The water looks clear, it used to be orange over the years. And that's just through oxidation of all the metalworks that's in the ground in the mining days. But the filtration systems that are up at Highfield and at the back of Blundells Woods, you'll see the water plant up there, that's doing a good job of making everything clear. Victoria says, "Looks lovely this morning." It's a beautiful morning. That chill that we had over the past couple of days is gone. but I believe it's coming back on Sunday to drop the temperatures again, but it's going to be 25 degrees later on in London. Sylvia says my daughter lives there. That area is supposed to be a pond in time. Very nice. And Baz says yeah, there used to be a scrapyard up there too, just opposite the house that was in the woods. Well, that was a nice little change from the usual route through Blundells. James says, has the sound gone off? If you can hear me, let me know. Have I pressed something, James? Thanks for confirming, Brian and Baz. Sound is all okay, James. Okay, there's a little warning sign here. You have to be careful. Trip hazard and soft uneven ground. Well, the ground's rock solid at the moment, so I wouldn't worry too much about that, but you can see the new business park on your right, Primrose Farm on your left. There's a little path that takes you through. And where we just came out of the woods earlier on, it's just behind those houses. And you can see St Matthew's Church in the distance over there. So you can see Smithy Brook's got its own road now, and St Matthew's in the distance over there. Morning, Emma. We'll be going back off road shortly, but there seems to be a fair amount of vehicles out today. So I've had a few people saying good morning Kim, another nice day. Janet, is there an old bridge on Little Lane? And Kim was thinking the same thing, and I'm guessing this is the old bridge you're referring to. Do you mean to cross the Smithy Brook? Is that the bridge you mean? If you do, I think there's one down at the bottom of Little Lane at the very end, which is blocked off now, but I could be wrong. All right. Alright, okay. I'll have to have a look next time I'm down. So we're just coming up to the Hare and Hounds pub. Morning. Oh, I see what you mean on Smithy Brook Road. That new one. I think there is, you know. I think I've driven over it. I must have walked over it at some point. Maybe a couple of weeks ago. I think this is the little inlet that we can use to get to where we're going. I'll just check. So we're now running parallel with Billings Road down towards Newtown. That becomes Victoria Road a little bit further down. And that over there is the back of Stevens Way Industrial Estate. Didn't realise it was so close. Just behind those trees. tiny little bridge. Well, I didn't know what to expect coming down here, but so far so good. Very well maintained paths, and little offshoots of the main path. Quite impressed. Now then, so that takes you under the railway and onto Stevens Way, industrial. We're going to make a left, but you can go straight down there. So if you have just joined us, we've started at Blundells Wood via Ravenswood Avenue, down the steps, turn right, and we're heading down towards Blundells Monument, or Memorial, and then from there we'll be go and have a look at some water, which I've never seen before. Some open water. In fact, there's a little cut through there I'm going to do. Looks like people have done it before. You can walk round, just saving on time. Most of you will recognise this from a different angle. So that's Victoria Road up there that takes you down towards Halfords, McDonald's, Asda, Robin Park. And that's the path that they would have come down if we would have carried on down that dirt path. There's a few little different paths that you can take on this one. We're just going to go straight through the middle, past the skate park. Some graffiti on there saying wash your hands. Yes, I'm at Alexandra Park, that's where we are. the old tennis courts. So there is a little car park there that you can get to via Warrington Road. So you can drive down here if you want to do something without having to go through the woods and things like that. You can get here quite easily by car and enjoy the park for a stroll for an hour. Morning. And there it is, Blundells Monument. Which James asked earlier on, did that used to be a fountain? And it did. There was 2 cast iron fountains on it. And surrounded by water at one point. So there's an image of the monument there in 1911, and you can see it was spouting water at the time at the bottom there. And he was a Member of Parliament for Ince, by the sounds of it. Colonel Blundell donated 15 acres of land that forms part of what is now Alexandra Park. In 1906, the monument was erected to commemorate him. But who was Colonel Henry Blundell, Hollinshead Blundell? So if you want to know more information about that guy, you'll have to come down and read. Have a look at it. We'll just do a circular shot of the monument, and then we'll go on phase 2 of our walk, which is to go and see some open water that I didn't even know existed until this morning. So a few people have been looking for flat services to have a pram friendly walk or a wheelchair friendly walk. Again, if you drove down here, which is only 2 or 3 minutes from Winstanley and parked in the car park, the route's very, very flat, very easy to get round, and as I said, there's several little tracks that you can take and work your way through the park. So I'd recommend it. It's looking really tidy at the moment, and it seems like everybody's adhering to social distancing, which is what needs to happen, I suppose. So there you go, final shot of the Blundell Memorial Monument, and we're just heading back towards the A49 Warrington Road, where the bridge is. As I've been looking to try and find what this bit of water's called, and for the life of me I can't find any names, so if it's called a red pond, we'll call it a red pond, but I don't think it's red, it doesn't look red. Right, okay, so this is called Parsons Meadow, and it's a shared path for cyclists and walkers. So this is new territory to me, I've never been down here. But from the look on the map, it looks really nice, so worth a trip. If you've just joined us, we've been to, or from Blundells Wood, and then wiggled our way down to Alexandra Park, had a look at Blundell Monument, and we're just heading over to some water. James, is Red Pond where I'm going now? Is that what you're talking about? Because if they used to dump cars in it, it doesn't sound very pretty. When was the last time you came down here, Baz, James, Brian? How many years ago? And don't say last week. So there seems to be a path to the left, a path straight on, and a path down there past the houses. Should we go straight on or left? Go straight on. 30 years, James. Well, it's looking pretty decent at the moment. Oh, and we've just caught up with Smithy Brook. So Smithy Brook's just to our right, down there. Baz, 24 years. What about Brian? How long since, Brian? think we might have some motocross to contend with shortly. And why not? So Brian's never been. Well, first time for everything, Brian. I'm looking down to my right and I can see some water through the trees, so we'll have to do a right in a minute and see it. I'm guessing this is the top path and there's a bottom path. So Kevin used to go fishing there at Red Pond as a kid 50 years ago. It's a lot nicer than now. You're showing your age there, Brian. Kevin even. Oh my word, I'm looking at the water now through the trees. You won't be able to see that yet, but it looks beautiful down there. Wonder how close we can get to it, like. Oh, blimey. Isn't that nice? All these years I've been going to Oral Water Park for a bit of water, and there's someone in our own backyard. Well, I never. And that's just a section of it. It's bigger. It wraps around the other side. We'll have to cross over in a minute and have a look. Let's have a little detour down here so you can have a mooch. I'll do some zooming in, see what you can see. Much bigger than I thought. Morning. Morning, sir.
Got this one on it, please.
Oh yeah, brilliant, thank you. Oh, blimey. Well, forgive me, Winstanley, never been here. I can't believe I've never been here. Can you identify that bird, Kim? So this is the smaller pond, which looks a lot more tranquil than the other big one, but there's a nice swan in there. And it's clear as day. I mean, you can see the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see the bottom quite easily. Yeah, so just over the railway there, Baz is telling us, just to get your bearings, it's Halford's, McDonald's, and that's where Smithy Brook meets the River Douglas. If you've not been down here, I'd strongly recommend it. Just get yourself down to Alexandra Park, cross over, and head down here. Looks like that path to the left, I think that's the one that runs down the side of Screwfix. That one straight on will take you, I'm guessing, further up towards the mills. There's a path there on that new road that cuts around the back of the Nissan garage. There's a path there, so you can get to it that way. This is stunning. It's a lot nicer than Scotsman's Flash actually, because you can actually walk around the thing, and the paths are really well maintained. They're not muddy. Kim, no, I need a bird expert to sit with us one day and identify all those birds. So if you know anybody who's a bird expert, then tell them to get in touch. So Karen, if you've just tuned in, we are literally 5 minutes away from Highfield Cricket Club, St Matthews. 5-minute walk from there, and we found this. Can't stop looking at it. What a beautiful spot. Well, Karen, it's my first time here. I've never been here before, but we're a stone's throw from Alexandra Park, if you know where that is. Just over the other side of the railway. And I've seen this on the map this morning and didn't even know it existed. It's beautiful. Look at that, it's a picture. Alright, well, we'll find our way back to the path. I'm just going to do a time check, so we've nearly been an hour I've still got to get back, so we'll decide what we're doing when we get back to the main road, I think. But I think this path leads us back to the edge of the houses and then back up to the main road. So it's a bit of a loop around the ponds, known as Red Pond apparently. There's a bit of green space over to my left behind these bushes here. Place to take the kids for a bit of a kick around. So we're coming to the back edge of the pond area now. It's more of a reed bed area, but again a beautiful spot. And I said to somebody the other day, it's taken 37 years plus a pandemic for me to get out and walk and see some of these spots. So every cloud and all that. This is probably the last shot of the back end of the pond now. And you can see one of the mills just in the distance. The chimneys sticking up. In fact, I can see Winterhill from here as well. You can see the spire at the top. So we're just coming up to the hour mark now. I'm sure you won't mind if we overrun slightly on this one today, but I'm going to get myself back to the main road and then from there try and walk down the main road, I suppose, and then back to Goose Green in Sainsbury's direction, cut up the path, the old Winstanley colliery railway path. That is one of the straightest still remaining lines that runs all the way from Beach Walk in Winstanley down to Goose Green, straight through the centre of the shops. And if you didn't know it was there, I'll show you on the map later on. Morning, how you doing? Sorry.
Pictures.
We're just doing some filming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got the swans?
Yeah, I've seen them, yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah.
A bit mad though.
Don't need to watch Escape to the Country anymore. Just watch Winstanley Walks, Kim says. Surprising what's on our doorstep. It is surprising. I think I might do, spring watch and autumn watch. We could do Winstanley watch. Think about that. Morning. So we are back to the path that leads to the main road again now. So we'll call this the top path, and the grassy one that I've just come down the bottom path. And there's the entrance there. Go straight down. The big pond's on your right, the little pond's on your left. And then you come down via just cutting through the side of the houses there. Back onto the main path. So you like that idea, Kim? Winstanley watch, set up some remote cameras and see what we can find. I'll be Chris Peckham, you can be Michaela Strachan, and then we need a couple of experts, because by the sounds of it neither of us know anything. So once we get back to the main road, guys, I'm going to call it a day on the live stream, mainly because my phone buffer, which records as well as live streams, is probably going to run out and I won't be able to save it. So this essentially is the main road leading from Newtown through Goose Green towards Sainsbury's. And if you don't know your way back from there, then use a sat-nav or Google Maps, I suppose. That's the best way, the best advice I can give you. So not a circular walk in terms of the live stream, but I will put on the map that I'll be uploading later an easy route back to get back to our starting point. But once again, I appreciate everybody who's commented, said hello. Hope people who are at home who aren't able to get out are still getting something from this, from the walks that we're doing, feeling like they're getting outside a little bit. But for now, from Parsons Meadow, we will see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.